Go live. Okay, this magical moments when you're waiting, am I live, am I not? But I'm pretty sure I'm live. I believe this is my time number 3 or 4. So please give me a comment if you see me live. And thank you so much for joining. So I'm checking the light so it all works and you can see me well. Well, this is our regular Friday 2:30 Let's Talk Health conversation, and today we're talking about detoxifying your life 360, and today's part 4. So I wonder if you know what it is about. Before we dive into the conversation, I'm going to share this video inside of our Friends in Health Facebook group. I'm equipped today, and please give me a comment. Are you listening live? Are you listening in replay? If you listen in replay, please put replay, #replay. And I am looking forward to hear your comments. I know that most of us listen in replays, but it's still very informative to know. Okay, and I am going to start a watch party as well. See what happens with that. Hopefully I'm not going to have sound. Interesting how it all works. It's just, technology is amazing, isn't it? So thank you everyone for watching. All right. Thank you for joining. My name is Nadya. I'm certified health, life, and fitness coach. I help men and women in the 50s to lose stubborn 20 pounds so they can finally fit in clothes they want to fit and keep it this way through a transformation of lifestyle and habit change. I'm also a passionate advocate of Shaklee products for your 360 health. And today we're going to talk about detoxifying your life 360, part 4, relationships. We talked about detoxifying your mind, detoxifying your body, detoxifying your environment, and today is detoxifying your relationships. Who is excited? More than that, who is not excited? Okay, and what I am wondering that I may not be able to see the comments, so I will probably, interesting, when you host the party, I do not see how I can watch the comments so I can actually communicate with me. I like to have these type of conversations as a conversation. So if I see your comment, I do my best to include it in the presentation, but oh, here you go. Okay, Bob is saying excited to be here. So I do see comments. Yay, thank you. Now we know. Live and learn. Okay, well, if you like topics like this for daily motivation and inspiration in your wellness journey, such as detoxifying your life, please join our Friends in Health Facebook group. It is free group. It is closed though, and it's called Friends in Health. Just knock the door, we will let you in. It is for daily motivation and inspiration in your wellness journey. Also, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Natural Power 100. So videos like this are uploaded there weekly, and then you can watch them at your convenience and not miss anything. Detoxifying your life 360, isn't it a big topic? So we talked about your mind, we talked about your body, we talked about the environment, and today's relationships. And I believe when we cover all these topics, we really cover the 360 of our life, isn't it? Well, you probably heard the expression, you become the average of 5 people you spend the most time with. Who has heard this expression? And isn't it interesting how if you start looking at who are the people who you spend the most time with, I would say in my life, well, it's co-workers. So we're in the gym. It is my spouse. And interesting, I would say my children, but I don't think I spend the most time with them. I think the co-workers and the people who I work in my own company with. And I am inviting you to look in your life and really evaluate, okay, what are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Where the challenge becomes is you become the average of these 5 people. So imagine if in these 5 people, you find those who are, let me just say, toxic people or complainers. Have you met complainers before? Or people just who don't smile. They just, it's not who they are. They just don't. It's very hard to get a smile out of them. Or there's always something negative. There's always something, it just doesn't feel positive when you're in the environment. And often enough, when you're around people like that, you actually kind of start feeling the same way. So you take the energy that they have, and it's very easy to start being negative or being included in a gossip. You know, we're all social beings. So, and being negative. So we really saturate who they are pretty quickly, because again, being social beings, we are becoming an environment that we are in. 5 people. So actually what I'd like to invite you is, if you know already who are the 5 people you spend the most time with, please put in the comments 5. So this way I know, okay, you are in the speed of this conversation. If not, you know, you can just say, don't know. And I invite you to consider that. So we become the average of 5 people we spend the time with. We are speaking about detoxifying your life 360, today's relationships. And, you know, there is, I don't know the exact expression, but the expression is that you see in people the features that actually a reflection of who you are. So, for example, when you see somebody who is, may I be rude, a jerk, I invite you to actually be curious. Why do you see a jerk in that person? Who is that person who sees the jerk? So we really reflect in other people, we see in other people the features that are a reflection of our own. And I believe a while ago I posted in one of my motivational mornings is that if you don't like your life, well, change who you are or change what you're doing. And when you change yourself, you can actually change how you see the world. When you change yourself, you can see how you change your vision of other people, how you see other people. If you've spent enough time with me, you probably have heard an expression. Sometimes I say, positive people see positive people. Inspiration sees inspiration, because it's the concept that who you are is what you see in other people. If you're happy, you see happiness, or you draw happiness from other people, law of attraction. And so if you don't really like what's happening around your life, you don't like people in your life, you just don't like your life, it's frustrating, how do you even start changing that? So my invitation is to find a beautiful mirror and actually look in the mirror. So my conversation today, the point I am leading towards is, when you hear the relationships, usually what comes to our mind is relationships with other people. But who is the number 1 person we are having relationships with? Who is the number 1 person you spend the most time with? And if you look in the mirror, you will know the answer. So what is your relationship with your own self? That's where we start. When I was preparing for this, the song by Michael Jackson will just come back to me on and on and on. And I wonder if you know the name, please put in the comments. If you don't If you want to change the world, start with yourself. Look at the mirror. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to start with myself. What's the name of the song? Please, anybody? Put in the comments. I'm reading the comments now. And, you know, I hear so much often focusing on helping men and women to lose 20 pounds is when they come and they start talking about themselves. There's just so much about how fat I am, how I don't like how I look in the mirror. I just don't love myself. And it's just the negative content of not liking and loving yourself is all over the place. And really wanting to lose this 20 pounds. Just recently, I was talking about how can you lose something you don't own? So imagine you have $5. How can you lose $5 if you don't own $5? So you want to lose 20 pounds, own it. What do I say? What do I mean by saying own it? Accept it. What do I mean by saying accept it? Love it. Love it really is acceptance. So accept who you are. Love yourself, own who you are with all perfections and non-perfections. You are who you are. God created you the perfect way you are. You are made in the exact same way that He meant you to be. So own who you are, fall in love with yourself. So have a love relationships with your own self. You know, one of the ways I was thinking about sharing with you in the afternoon, where I kind of transition from gym work to health coaching work. Usually health coaching is virtually, I'm on the phone, I'm on Zoom, but that transition, I need something to just help me slow down, relax, and enjoy my life, my day, myself, and be grateful. So I created my own ritual is the gratitude tea in the afternoon. Not promoting Starbucks, but I'm mixing my own tea in there. And this gratitude afternoon tea just gives me this sense of just appreciation and loving who I am and what I do and everything that is around my life. So starting with my own self is really important. All the rituals, how to, we've done plenty of videos. You can go back. YouTube will be an amazing way under probably Facebook live streams playlist and just find lots of opportunities like be the boss of your morning, 5-second rule, the power of gratitude. You can find a lot of resources how you can actually implement this way of falling in love in yourself or just refreshing what you already know. And it's interesting when we have relationships with other people, actually just conversations with other people. So moving from self-love to, well, yes, people still around us, right? And you might find people making you angry, making you frustrated, or they push your buttons. And you probably heard it just recently from me. If you haven't, the video is called What 98% of People Don't Know. It goes back to who you are again. Yes, the natural reaction of us as human beings, somebody said something negative, I'll get mad. Well, it's just the natural reaction of my human body. And yes, I get mad. But what is after that? Few seconds later, when I really realize, oh, okay, it's my natural reaction that, you know, somebody said something, my body reacted. Now I have a choice when I'm really aware of my natural reaction. Now I have a choice of how I'm going to act. And my action, most of the time, I'm choosing my own feeling I want to produce. The feeling would usually be, well, this person might be having a bad day. Maybe somebody just said something negative to that person and the person doesn't know what to do about that. So they just put it on somebody else, which is me in this case. If I don't know how to transform my emotional reaction into action, I just make it up. I make up something positive, or I might just crack a joke, or whatever that actually creates that shift of energy into a positive energy, because it's my choice. We can be like kids. They cry 1 minute, they laugh the next second. So we can do the same thing because they have a choice. They do it subconsciously, not really consciously realized. And us as human adults, we got away from that simplicity of changing how you want to be being. So if somebody makes you mad, get mad for 1-2 seconds, maybe even wait. So you're not using these 2 seconds to be angry at somebody else or mad. Just wait and create your own action, which might be just give them a smile or give them a hug. And it's really who you are being in that moment, which boils down again. Who are you? What is your relationship with yourself? If you're full and complete with authentic, full and complete self-love, most likely that's how you will show up for other people. And actually, interesting exercise here, probably you've heard it from me maybe a year ago or something. I do it once a year at least, is check in with other people, how you occur to other people. Because it's interesting, sometimes we have one idea of how we are, and the world has a different idea. So how you're showing up in the world, that will be interesting. So go ahead and ask several people around your life. Describe me in 3 adjectives, how you see me. So have that as the summary of who you are. When the last time I did that, I actually picked 3 that were the most inspiring for me, and I used them as my alarm on my phone. So 2 times a day at 2:15 and 6:15 p.m., I get that alarm ringing on my phone, and if I'm not present to those 3 inspiring words, I'm actually taking a second or 2, no matter what I'm doing, even if I'm with the client. 1-2 seconds does not make a difference. Actually, it's at 2:50. It's ringing right now. It says beauty, power, and bliss. Here you go. You just heard exactly what I said, isn't it, timing? And what I created for myself a couple of years ago, I heard an expression, well, you can be your own authority. You can be your own example of who you want to be. Usually we think about some famous people that we want to look up at, but how about just creating an image who you want to be and just live into it? Because what happens over time, when you live into that image, you become that image. It's not easy, but it works. And actually what happens is that when you ask people who you are for them, that's exactly what they will be telling you. The reflection, how they see you, will be who you're living into. My creator brain may not think so. There's always that inside chatter. Speaking of what 98 people don't know, they don't know that there is inside chatter still happening. It's just designed to help us survive. So it will always be saying something else. But you know who you want to live into, what person you want to be, and you live into it. And then when you ask around, you'll get confirmation. Yeah. And, my way of confirmation, I receive almost every day. I receive either face-to-face or somebody texts me, somebody posts on Facebook, how I help people, how I inspire. That's probably the first word I always hear. How I make it fun. That's good. That's actually how I want to live into who I am. I just want to make it fun and inspirational. All right. And if this is all, if I ask you the questions, are you there? Are you really accepting yourself with full and complete self-love? If you really can authentically say, yes, when I look at myself in the mirror and what I say, I love you, and you can still say, you know, there's still toxic people around my life. I just can't do anything about that because they're either at my workplace or they're in the house, or there's just people who are, you have no choice. You just see them often. Cases like this do happen. And, you know, you have friends who have been friends for years, let's say maybe 10 years or so, and then you just started your own personal development journey, and you are transforming. Life is movement, life is changing, and if we are constantly working on growing, being a bigger person, I'm talking about spirituality, you are changing, you're transforming. And there are people in your life maybe who have been in your life for years, but they still may see you as the old person. They may not have caught up of who you are currently. It does happen, it's life. And, you know, in some situations, it might be easier. If they're friends or co-workers, you don't have to go out for a drink with them, just as you have been doing for years. You can spend less and less time with them. Have you heard the expression love from distance, something like that? You can love them from distance. It actually happened to me in my life at least 2 times I can think of. I just stopped slowly communicating with people. Sometimes I just stopped abruptly, but it doesn't mean that I don't love the people. I just love them from the distance. It's better this way. And in the cases if the person's still around your life, you cannot do anything. It's the boss that you see all the time. It's your spouse or whoever in your life who you just have no choice. You still see them. Hey, you know who you are. You know the point of your 100% self-love. You know your emotional reaction. Okay, the boss said something, my reaction made me mad, but you now know, you are observant of it, and you have a choice to actually what you're going to do about that. You can be quiet. I can just take a choice and say, I am going to be peaceful, and I'm going to be rationally responding to that complaint, because I know that I am peace, I am happiness, I know who I am. Whatever they said does not belong to me, it's not me, it's about them. So it's a very fine line, but once you build that muscle of realizing what's yours, what's not, it becomes very simple. Never easy, but it's simple. All right. And you know, with that said, we are as creatures of survival as well. Our creator brain sometimes tells us, let's just, you know, just let it be, let it go, don't say anything, withhold it. Actually, back from my culture, I would hear from my mom quite often, just don't say anything, just let it be, just let it go, just close your mouth. And maybe yes, but maybe not. What it may create is, by withholding for a very long time, you actually pile up that snowball of frustration. And Mel Robbins actually speaks about that. She speaks about using a 5-second rule and speak your truth. Coming from the space of authentic love, peace, not from the space of being angry and reaction, coming from the space of how you're going to act and speak the truth and being authentic. All right, last but not the least, in terms of relationships, you probably have heard it from me. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So let's talk, consider the relationships in other areas of your life. Yes, it's not just about other people. It's really, first of all, about you. What is your relationships with money? What is your relationships? I touched it a little bit with your body. What is the relationships with food in your life? And other, take any area. What's interesting is how your relationships in one area may be very much parallel to the relationships in other areas. For example, if you look in the mirror and you say, I'm just not good enough. It's disgusting. I'm fat. I don't like it. How are you going to do? What are you going to do about? Are you going to use something to calm or soothe yourself out? Maybe it's food. You're going to open the refrigerator and make yourself feel good for a little moment by eating ice cream or a cake because it feels good. Hey, when you eat sweets, you release some happiness hormones. Interesting. So are you actually going shopping and spending more money than you're supposed to because it makes you feel good when you buy things? You just buy things because they make you feel good. And you eat food because it makes you feel good. So how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'm inviting you to consider all areas of your life and your relationship in each area of your life. So if you say, what other areas can I consider? On top of my head, well, we talked about the body. We talked about finances. We talked about relationships with others. We talked about, well, we didn't, spirituality, home cooking, home environment. I'm just speaking out what I'm thinking because I did not prepare. But it's called the wheel of life, where every area that you can think of fits kind of in your wheel of life. And then you can consider, okay, what areas may not be working in my life? What is my relationships in those areas? And ask yourself a really core question. What is the relationship, my relationships with my own self? What is the story I'm telling myself? My childhood story was I'm not good enough. And then it was all over my other areas. Not good enough, but that's not my story anymore. So, detoxifying your life and the part of the relationships, please consider to look at what is your relationships with yourself, because you are the number one person you spend the most time with. Also consider how you reflect on other people. What you see in other people is reflection of who you are. If you still have the people you just can't do anything about, you see them all the time and you feel they're toxic in your life, do your best to spend less time or fewer conversations. And also consider other areas of your life. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So before you go, I wonder which one is the area that stood out for you the most? Is it self? Please type self. Is this the area maybe you didn't even expect to hear it? The area of money? Please type money. Did you hear the concept about the mirror? Do you understand the concept about the mirror? Is it a good concept about the mirror? Type mirror. Or anything else, just type the keyword that you hear that really stood out for you. So this was our final part of detoxifying your life. And if you like topics like this, you can also join my health newsletter every Thursday. You can go to nadyatouch.com/newsletter. And also I created a fresh made wellness center. I will post the link in the comments. By joining, being a member, it's a free center, but you can have lots of different topics on health and wellness there, and also be invited to our webinars. We have 2 webinars a month. It's all free for your education and consideration. Also, if you have a question, what I do to help men and women to lose stubborn 20 pounds, you just want to maybe have an initial conversation, you can get a 15-minute phone call with me. I will also set a link in the comments and we can start chatting. I can explain what this program is about. Okay. It's 3 months transformational program through your lifestyle and habit change. Here I am, just explained in a few seconds. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any topics that you would like to discover and talk about, please let me know. Put those in the comments. Some in all these areas you discussed, and thank you for your comments. I will see you in the community. Please join our Friends in Health Facebook group for your daily motivation and inspiration in your wellness journey.